Why take medicinal mushroom or herb number 100 or 1,000 when you can have number one? And number one is chaga. That was David Wolf who said that. Welcome this evening to Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show, episode 38, Chaga's Charms, on our medicinal mushroom magic series. That was easy for me to say. And this whole month of January, we're discussing the magic of mushrooms, medicinal ones. And next week, we'll be talking about magic mushrooms, but for which they're medicinal too, but we'll talk more about that next week. But for this evening, it's going to be all about chaga and all of its charms. So thank you for being here with us. I'm Michele Wildflower. I am the Director of Education at Nature's Mysteries Academy of Holistic Health. And I'm also the founder and alchemist for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary. And we're celebrating over 20 years in business. And herbal plant medicine is my passion. I love passing that knowledge on to others. And so this evening, like I said, we're going to talk about chaga and its charms. And have you ever seen it growing on a tree? If you're like out in the woods and you see all of a sudden somewhere on a tree, it looks like wicked dark, almost like burnt. And it's odd because it would be like halfway up a tree or something like that. So there's really no reason why it would be burnt halfway up the tree. Excuse me. Then that's probably chaga. It looks really like something burnt. And it's really easy for me to spot when I'm in the woods because nothing else in the woods is that color except either a bear or chaga. And usually chaga isn't as big as a bear, so then you know it's chaga. And it takes chaga years to grow, so you definitely want to be mindful when you're harvesting it. And if you're buying it, make sure that it's ethically harvested. I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of over-harvesting going on, and a lot of times people take more than they really need for themselves because it's something that's easily accessible, so they just think it's kind of there for the taking. But honestly, you don't want to do that. You want to be mindful. You want to be respectful. You wouldn't take more than like a quarter of what's there. And you would always want to say thank you. And I mean, maybe even bring an offering or something like that could never hurt. I actually have some here that I found. This is a piece that I found a long while back. And I actually did a workshop with it a while ago and I used it. It's very hard. And so you can try to powder it, and I put it in my Vitamix and tried to just powder it a little bit to get some tea out of it. But one time I was actually in the woods. My husband came home from work and I asked him if he wanted to go for a walk in the woods because I felt like there was something calling me. And I felt like it was a mushroom, but I wasn't really sure. And I know this is getting like a little woo for some of you, but bear with me for a second. And I hadn't found much chaga before that, except the piece that I showed you. And that piece had been like really high up, very, very tall on a tree. And I said to my husband, that was my first time ever finding it. And I said to my husband, I didn't even know how we could get that because it's so far up there, And he just took a tree branch and knocked it and was able to get it down for us. And we used that for a few years. And then, like I said, a while back, probably last year, he came home from work and I was like, I don't know, I feel like there's a mushroom calling me. And we went out into the woods out back behind our house. And I found this chaga mushroom, which if you look at it the right way, it kind of almost looks like it could be a being. When I showed my grandson it, he was like, oh my God, that's a Buddha. But we have a lot of Buddhas around the house. So to him, he could kind of see like a head and then like the hands. And so this one I haven't used for any kind of physical medicine. I actually just use that one for spiritual medicine because chaga is one of the only herbs that actually affects all three of the affinities in Chinese medicine: our spirit, our mind, and our body. So I just use it really more for spiritual purposes than anything else. But so chaga is known as being a superfood. It's also known as the mushroom of immortality. It's one of the highest sources of antioxidants, and it grows where I have found it growing was on birch trees, but it also grows on chestnut, beech, alder, and hornbeam trees. Excuse me. I'm just going to take a drink because it seems like I'm like raspy or something. So how's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Thanks for bearing with me. And it was actually found in some studies that it had decreased infective properties of the hepatitis C virus by 100-fold in just 10 minutes in studies. So its effects are very powerful, and it doesn't take long. It actually contains over 215 different vitamins, minerals, and bioactive compounds. So it's a power-packed mushroom. And its curative properties, okay, this list is kind of long, are you ready? Its curative properties are it has anti-cancer benefits, anti-tumor, anti-metastatic. Now, if you know what metastasis is, right, that's when cancer spreads. So this is anti-metastatic, so it actually prevents cancer cells from breaking off and metastasizing. Anti-tumor would mean that it would like shrink cancer cells. And anti-cancer would mean that it causes apoptosis, which is when those cancer cells come in contact with it, it causes apoptosis, which is cellular suicide. So just that alone makes it great, right? But the list is so much longer. So it also, like we said, is high in antioxidants. It's anti-inflammatory. It's an adaptogen. And I'm not sure if you remember what an adaptogen herb is, but an adaptogen is an herb that actually helps our bodies adapt to stress in whatever way that means. So if it means that you need more energy to deal with stress, then it will provide you with more energy. If it's like you need to take it down a notch because you're like in fight or flight mode all the time and you're suffering from adrenal fatigue, then it's gonna help you to take it down a notch and calm you down a little bit. So the beauty of adaptogen herbs is that you don't need to know what you need. They will do it for you. They know your body, and they have the ability to bring it back into balance. And like I said, help your body deal with stress in whatever way that means. Many of them are also immune boosting, so they're also boosting your immune function as well. It's also a caffeine-free option for people who want to drink it as an alternative for coffee or something like that. It doesn't have any caffeine in it. And like we said, it's immune modulating. It's also neuroregenerative, anti-aging. It's an allergy alleviator. It's hepoprotective, expectorant, antibacterial, antiviral, anti-diabetic, anti-hypertensive, kidney tonic, and an appetite suppressant. And if you're wondering where I'm getting all of this information from, I'm getting it from my own book that I wrote, the Discover the Essence of Plant Medicine, the 5 Principles of Life-Saving Herbs, Cannabis Edition. And I actually wrote this for the University of Natural Health as an herbal course for them. And in it, I profiled 33 different herbs. We go over growing, harvesting, storing, preparations, and applications. And chaga is just one of the many 33 herbs that we profiled in my book. The conditions that it relieves, this list is really long too, so bear with me. Are you with me? Does all this sound good? You can type yes in the comments if you're with me. If you're watching the replay, you can type replay. And that'll just help keep your brain activated while I list off all of these conditions and all of these properties that it helps with. Okay, ready? Conditions. Cancer, like we said, right? Liver disease, parasites, heart disease, diabetes, stomach pain, gastrointestinal cancer, hepatitis C virus, ulcerative colitis, inflammation, fatigue, constipation, gastritis, inflammation, fatigue, constipation, ulcers, Crohn's disease, hepatitis, psoriasis, tuberculosis, malaria, Alzheimer's, HIV, herpes, foggy brain, stress, IBS, red itchy skin conditions. And the extraction process is a little tricky for mushrooms because there's so many medicinal compounds in there. It actually requires a double extraction process. And because some of the compounds that are found in the mushroom are extracted into water, but some of them are actually extracted into alcohol. So if you wanted to make a tea blend with it, you could just use, about a teaspoon of the herb, which, you could either try to break it off. It's it's one of the hardest substances. So if it was powdered, you could use about a teaspoon of that. And then if it was like a chunk, you could soak it in cold water for between 1 to 3 hours. And then you would pour just boiled water over the chunks. You don't want it to be like boiling because you don't want it to destroy the vital compounds that are found in there. And then you would just let that sit for 1 to 2 hours. And birch trees, so they say that it's like a tree cancer, but it actually doesn't kill the tree. So chaga will start growing on a place where the tree has been injured, like say if lightning struck it or something like that, it'll start growing. And birch trees actually produce what's called betulin in their bark, or betulinic acid. And when it's extracted, it's not used safely for human consumption, but it is very highly anti-cancer. So chaga actually synthesizes the betulinic acid so that it's safe for our consumption. So it extracts it from the tree and then just kind of like that was easy for me to say, like metamorphosizes it, or metabolizes it, or synthesizes it, absorbs it. Either way, it changes it into a compound that is safe for us to use and that is anti-cancer, very anti-cancer. So, talk about divine intelligence, right? Like, how cool is that? That's pretty cool. And I actually have so I made a double extraction, and this is a double extraction that I made, and that I actually did with a few different mushrooms. That one was reishi, turkey tail, and chaga, and all three of those are ones that we talked about in my book. It's about 600 pages, a little over, like 650, and I tried to keep it short. There's about 90 different full color pictures, over 150 different recipes. And if you're interested in taking your knowledge a bit further, if you're really passionate about herbal medicine, our 12-week holistic health practitioner program hasn't begun yet. It will begin January 25th, and we still have a few openings available. Enrollment is still open. And we've just extended our 30% off sale, so now's the best time to sign up. We also have partial scholarships available and payment plan options. So if there was a time that you were thinking that you'd like to get involved in a profession with herbal medicine, we're accredited with the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. So upon completion of our 12-week holistic health practitioner program, you can apply to them to become a board certified holistic health practitioner. How cool would that be to have that accreditation on your wall that says you're a board certified holistic health practitioner, right? Accredited with the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. So it's really cool. And they also give you a little wallet card that you can carry with you and show people. So if that's something that you're interested in, that's some kind of game changer that could be exactly what your 2024 was looking for, we'd love to have you join us. turn your passion into your profession at Nature's Mysteries Academy of Holistic Health. You can go to naturesmysteries.com to learn more, or reply scholarship on this video and we will send you the scholarship application. Or if you have interest in the payment plan options and what more is available there, you can type payment plans in there and we will send over the information about that. And like I said, next week we'll be talking about magic mushrooms and the medicinal benefits that they hold. I mean, soon it's going to be legal, right? There's people with PTSD that are going to be able to enjoy the benefits of those compounds without having to worry about, you know, having some kind of adverse reaction or just not feeling safe. Now there's actually people that are learning how to facilitate these experiences, which is just amazing to have this medicine accessible to all. So I figured that that would be something cool for us to go over, so that when it is legal, if you have a condition or you know someone that you know of that could benefit from that experience, then it's something you could just start researching now, so that when it does become legal, you would actually have, you know, kind of like all your ducks in a row and have a little knowledge on it before it happens. And then you're trying to figure it out, scrambling to get all the knowledge that you can. If you're the type of person that I am, who before you do anything is trying to like grab as much knowledge as you can to have a well-rounded view, right? Which I think you are, and that's why you're here at this show. So thank you again for joining us at Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show. I'm Michele Wildflower, and I hope that you have a great evening. Take care.